In this video, you're going to learn how to fix your shoulder pain and your neck pain in 5 easy steps using BPMQ. As a bonus, you're going to learn the absolute best technique to help your neck out with what I call the iPhone head syndrome. It can be done along with a sequence or all by itself. It only takes 20 seconds, so make sure to stick around towards the end. Aloha, this is Dan Kaiser. I'm a biomechanics specialist, an international trainer, speaker, and on this channel I share scientific-based shortcuts so you can get instant results. If you're new, make sure to subscribe to know when new videos are out, including one explaining the very powerful biomechanics pain management quadrant. For the purposes of this video, just know that your brain, which is like a computer, will use the nervous system, which is like the network connection, to tighten the musculature around any injury to ensure that you're not going to sustain any further damage by trying to move that area around. This concept is called self-splinting, and the best way to reverse it is to use the biomechanics pain management quadrant. When looking at the quadrant, the very first step shows that we need to address the fascia. Turns out that all the musculature inside of our body is wrapped around by this invisible suit. And so it holds everything together, and it's really important to address that before we can actually move on to the muscle. For the second step, we're going to enhance the range of motion or stretch the tight musculature. For the third step, we're going to have to demonstrate some kind of strength in this newly opened up range of motion. This will then cause the nervous system to trust that you know what you're doing, and then the brain will release the tension around the injury, and now you can heal way faster. Let's take a look at how this applies to neck and shoulders. So the fascia encompasses the entire arm, starting at the pec, and it goes all the way down to the thumb. So for the myofascial release, step number 1 is we're going to use this massage ball. You can use a lacrosse ball, you can use anything you want, essentially. We're going to apply pressure right here at the pec, right where it starts. Feel around till you find a tender spot. That's where the ball goes. That's step number 1. For this, I'm going to use a pillar, personally. If you guys don't have a pillar, later I'll show you how to use a squat rack or even how you could do this at home. But here we go. I'm holding the pillar on the opposite side. I'm kind of moving around until I feel like a sore spot. And then I'm just going to stand here and press into it. All of these exercises, all of these moves, I like you to do from 60 to 120 seconds. 2 minutes would be ideal, because all the new research shows that anything you do for 2 minutes, your brain is going to try to loop it and help you kind of facilitate whatever you're doing. And so if you can bear this for 2 minutes, even after you stop, your brain is still going to continuously work on this area. And so once you find your spot, once you hang out here, then I want you to start bringing your arm up and down, right? That's where the tacking and stretching comes in. I'm pushing down with my body. The ball is being wedged between the wall and my chest. And then I'm moving my arm, stretching through that region. And let's do this for about 10 repetitions. The arm is going up and down. And then I want you to start bringing your arm out to the side, just like this. You can bring it all the way up, or you can just try to reach the back of your head like this. Once again, about 10 repetitions, equaling 1 to 2 minutes in total length or the duration of this exercise. Step number 2 is to address the tension in the trap right here. A lot of us will hold tension in the neck and kind of this upper shoulder region. This is the best massage that you can possibly do for your tight traps. And so what I'm going to do next is place the ball right on my trap. There's 2 places you can do this, kind of right by the neck or even further down towards the clavicle. Just feel around, see where you're tight. You might have to move around from day to day, or even on the same session. You can move from here to a little bit further out. So here's how this works. You're going to grab the pillar, and I'm almost parallel to the ground, notice. And so now I'm driving from my left knee, because I'm doing the left side, I'm driving from this knee forward. I'm driving from that foot forward. And now I'm gonna grab the pillar on the opposite side and really pull. My left arm is completely relaxed. I just wanna relax that thing. And here, you can push with your legs and pull with your arm as hard as you want. It's just a matter of pain tolerance. There's no nerves, there's no damage you can create by pushing too hard. Also, what helps is if you gently move your ear towards the opposite shoulder. So if I'm doing a left trap, I'm going to move my right ear to the right shoulder, really stretching that region even further. So once again, we're going to do this for 1 to 2 minutes. What's nice about the squat rack is it has all these holes in here that's really easy to tack the ball down. So once again, I'm gonna find the spot on my pec, right? I'm gonna attach the ball right up to the hole. And here I am. It's so much easier to do all your moves just like this by pushing into the squat rack. Here's flexion and extension, or moving my arm overhead. And here's abduction, or moving my arm kind of sideways across my body. And remember, we're doing this for about 10 repetitions. The ball shouldn't move. Like if you're moving your arm and the ball is sliding, obviously that defeats the whole purpose. So I want you to really tack it down. The more you press down into it, the more you'll get from this exercise, right? And same for the trap. Notice I'm gently stretching my neck by moving my ear, opposite ear, towards the shoulder, right? And then feel free to move around, scour around for a different spot. Just make sure you're tacking the ball really nicely, because otherwise, like if it falls out, it's kind of uncomfortable. And here's how you would do this at home or anywhere there is a door, really. You're gonna use a utility closet in the gym, whatever it takes, right? So notice I'm gonna take the ball, place it on the sore part of my pec, press into the wall, and if there is a place where I can pull with my hand, great. If not, I just have to push a little bit harder with my feet, with my body into the opening or into the wall. And for the trap, you would do the same thing, placing it above the shoulder, right? And then I'm pulling with my right hand, pushing with my legs, and really feeling an amazing release. This is the best massage for your traps, I'm telling you. In my experience, most of the tension in the arm is placed in the pec and trap. So when you're dealing with this whole line, once you address those two areas, you can now move on to the second phase of the pain management quadrant, which states that we can now open up the range of motion. And that's exactly what we're gonna do next. For this, we're gonna need an elastic band and a squat rack, but don't worry if you don't have access to either or. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it without those tools. By the way, if you guys are getting any value from this video, please hit that like button. It really helps this channel out a lot. Now, what I want you to do is stick your hand right through the loop of the band and then turn your palm over and then just give it a gentle pinch with your two fingers. You don't want to squeeze too hard, you just want to pinch it gently so that the band doesn't fall off when you're stretching, right? From then, you want to step forward and out to the side, away from the shoulder you're actually stretching. And so now I feel a deep stretch from my pec all the way down to my hand. And here we're gonna hang out for a couple of minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, just like with all the other moves. If possible, move your shoulder, or rather your ear, towards the opposite shoulder. And then you're gonna hold this stretch for 2 minutes. There is one other tool you can use to make this stretch even more powerful. Let's take a look. What I have here is a KFI massage gun. I had it manufactured specifically for this kind of therapy so that it penetrates the fascia and goes deep into the muscle, but not too deep to cause any damage. And so if you're interested in one of these tools, I'll put a link down in the description below, but really any one of these will work. And so here's how you would use it. Just stick your hand through the loop just like before, right? You're gonna step out or step forward and out. And then while you're stretching, notice the palm is up. If you're doing something like this, you're actually gonna tighten that line, right? So make sure the palm is up. And now, you're just gonna use this massager and glide it along the fibers of your pecs to kind of help the stretch along. Here, I'm using the claw attachment, so it's like 6 fingers actually massaging my pec, massaging my shoulder, or that attach, like where it attaches to the shoulder. And it feels amazing. Like the band is doing all the work, it's pulling me. And then this thing is just stretching those muscle fibers even further. So if you could do this for a few minutes, 1 to 2 minutes would be ideal. Here's another way you can do this stretch. Make sure that your foot is pointing away from your hand. And now, by applying a little bit of pressure into the wall, I'm actually turning my body away from my hand, looking out to the opposite direction, creating a nice stretch in here. If you have one of these door anchors, you can attach a band to it and then just throw it right above the door. Now, because it's a little bit shorter or not as high off the ground, you're gonna have to kneel. So the same thing, you'll step forward, then out and get on the ground. And here's your stretch. All right, now that we've addressed the fascia and opened up a range of motion, now it's time to strengthen your neck and then the back of the shoulders, right? So that your posture goes from this to this. Now it's time to strengthen the neck. Rather, we're gonna strengthen the rhomboids, the muscles that are responsible for holding your neck up, right? So for every inch that the head moves forward, there's an additional 10 pounds of weight that's placed on that vertebra. So it's like an extra bowling ball. And so what we're gonna do is put this loop right around the neck, right at the base of the neck, okay? And then what you gotta do is look up or translate your head upwards. So if this is what we do when we stare at the phone, you're gonna go in the opposite direction, look up. Usually it's where the ceiling and the wall meet. That's the spot I usually look at. And from there, you're just gonna straighten your arms. Draw your navel in, engage your glutes so that your core is engaged, so that your spine is good. And then you're just gonna hold this contraction for 20 seconds. That's it. Make sure not to move your neck around in this position. Wait 20 seconds, and then when you're done, you're gonna release the resistance, and then you can look back. And then you'll notice after doing this for a couple of weeks that even when you look down, it feels uncomfortable. Like you try to do that without the weight and something automatically pulls your head back up. So this is the #1 tool I use for the iPhone head syndrome. So the last step is to strengthen the back of the shoulders. The principle of reciprocal inhibition, say that 3 times really fast. Anyways, that principle suggests that in order to stretch a muscle, the opposing muscle has to strengthen, right? And so that's exactly what we're gonna do. In order to keep this nice and loose, now that we open everything up, and we already strengthened the back of the neck or the rhomboids, now it only makes sense to strengthen the back of the shoulders. For this, all you need is the floor. So from here, put your forehead on the ground, make sure your core is engaged, drop your elbows and shoulders as far down as you can, and lift your hands up. Keep lifting the elbows and your hands towards the ceiling as high as you can, feeling contraction between the shoulder blades. If this is too much, or if you're starting to feel tension in those traps, I want you to just straighten your palms, straighten your arms, and then from there, just lift up. You're looking for tension between your shoulder blades. Try pointing the thumbs up or palms down and keep raising up, feeling that tension between the shoulder blades. For me, I like the W's way, but I feel way more contraction in here. But for some of you, the T's will work better. If you have a 2mm band, then check out this video for a follow along routine for your shoulders. That would be ideal for this 5th segment of this program, and only takes like 90 seconds. If you learned anything new today, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel so you can be notified when new videos are out. And until next time, this is Dan Kaiser reminding you to live Pono and train with Aloha.